People have been asking me to review ChatGPT, and I have not checked it out yet, so I'm going to do a blind review for you today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paige Lord. I'm an artificial intelligence ethicist, and I create AI content here on TikTok. ChatGPT is basically an AI chatbot that is created to simulate human conversation, and it was created by OpenAI using their GPT 3.5 technology. The first chatbot ever created was created in the 1960s. Its name was Eliza. And since then, we've seen several different iterations and attempts at creating a chatbot that can mimic human conversation. You know, one of the things about human conversation is that nuance. It's not just transactional in the way we see chatbots right now, which is where you ask a question about the weather and you might get a response back. But conversations with humans are dynamic and they have nuance. And creating a chatbot that can mimic that is quite a feat. And so I think this is why people are super excited about ChatGPT, because it is complex and it is built on one of the best natural language processing machine learning models in the world. So it's really exciting technology. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to play around with this. I haven't played around with this yet, so I'm going to play around with this blind and walk you guys through my assessment. So the first thing we have from OpenAI when we open ChatGPT is a series of, sort of information, disclaimers, whatever you want to call them. The first one is that this is a free research preview. They want people to know that this is for research purposes only. And the second thing they want people to know is that there are safeguards in place, but the system might generate incorrect or misleading information, which means it is your responsibility, the consumer's responsibility, to question things and to take things with a grain of salt. So this is 10 points, to OpenAI for doing this. Really important. I give ChatGPT and OpenAI a 1 for this one. How we collect data. They go on to say conversations might be reviewed by AI trainers to improve the systems. Great. Please don't share any sensitive information in your conversations. Also awesome. But this isn't answering that statement of how we collect data. This isn't saying we collect this type of data. This isn't saying this is how we're pulling this information together or how it's being stored. They're just saying that we might review your conversations. And we know that there's more to it than just that. 10 points here. They say, hey, we'd love your feedback. We're open to that. Here's, information on how you can give us feedback. And I love that. So something people in the AI community argue over is how to define the term artificial intelligence. And so I asked that question. How should we define the term artificial intelligence? It came out with a great answer. I'll let you pause to read. And I think that, it's a well-rounded, if a human said this to me, I would say it's a thoughtful response. So then I asked the question, is artificial intelligence really intelligent? And again, I think it came out on the other side with a pretty thoughtful response. The term intelligent can be difficult to define, and whether or not AI is truly intelligent depends on how we choose to interpret the term. I agree with this, and I thought it was a really sort of sensible response, but still not definitive. So this feels like more of a dialogue, sort of open exchange of ideas than it does a discussion where we're trying to get to the bottom of something. Then I wanted to get into the weeds a little bit. I said, what is the most critical ethical principle for responsible artificial intelligence? Because I wanted it to give me sort of a definitive answer, and still no definitive answer. It gave sort of a, hey, one of the most critical ethical principles, which, we might argue that they're all pretty critical, but it gave me a response that was sort of general in nature. So then I said, I disagree. I think that fairness is the most critical ethical principle, which, by the way, I don't have a favorite ethical principle. This was just for the sake of this experiment. But I said, without fair technology, we risk harming vulnerable people groups. And it took ChatGPT so long to respond that I actually went in and started typing another question. What I realized is that when this ellipsis is going on the right-hand side over here, that means that ChatGPT is thinking. And it took a while for it to generate this response and the next response. And again, this response, I'll let you pause to read, but pretty general, not really in a debating manner. It's sort of just giving information. So then I asked, which one is more critical, transparency or fairness, trying to get it to a place where it would make a decision. And it just kind of returned, again, another response that I'll let you pause to read that is pretty generic. It's important information, and I think that this is true information, but it's not definitive. It doesn't make a decision. And then I typed in thank you, and this is what I got. It just did not know how to respond to me saying thank you, which I thought was funny. I think ChatGPT is really cool. Obviously, it's really powerful. You can use it for so many more things than what I just used it for. That was just a little me just checking in on it. You can use it to ask it for code, very specific code, and make sure you test it first. You can ask it, to write. It can write college level essays. There's a number of different things that this can do. It is a very powerful chatbot because it is built with very powerful natural language processing technology. Ultimately, I think that OpenAI should be on the lookout for a couple of things as they move forward with this. The first one is that they want to stay away from the uncanny valley. So they don't want this to appear too human-like. We don't want to fool people with this technology. The second thing I think that they need to be steer clear of is assigning a gender to this chatbot, which I appreciate that they didn't do that when they released it. And then the third thing is that they need to be more transparent about their privacy. No doubt that OpenAI has all of the lawyers and resources necessary to be able to provide us clear information on how they're collecting our data and what they're doing with it. So that would be my feedback.